All right. So, hello, everyone. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name again is Shamel Jordan. And I am so very excited to be here with you today. Um, and I'm so grateful to the Lawnside Historical Society for making space for Manira and me to share our creation, which is the Lawnside History Postcards. This has been an amazing year and a half, 18 months. And you might think I'm talking about the pandemic, but no, what I'm talking about is Mrs. Higgs went back to Lawnside Public School. She hadn't been there and she'll tell you how long, but she hadn't been there in so long. And she got a chance to go back and do what she loves, which is teach Lawnside history. And seriously, I mean, I knew this was going to be a magical time, but it was off the charts. I mean, not only did the students enjoy it, but slowly I started noticing instead of just one person in the little Zoom window, there was like a shadow in the background. And then sometimes there'd be this voice. And I'm like, that's not a child's voice in the background. And it turned out the parents started attending our Zoom meetups with the students, the grandparents, aunts, uncles were there. And as the weeks went by, they stopped sitting in the shadows. They nudged their children over. They were sitting next to them, proud on the seat next to them. And let me just tell you, when they saw Mrs. Higgs, they were like, hey, Mrs. Higgs. They looked like they had went back to third grade. It was unbelievable. One of the times we had a reenactor, we brought special guests there. We had a reenactor from the United States Color Troops. And I asked this, asked the students, you have any questions? Why the parents up there raising their hands? They was like into it. So Mrs. Higgs was a huge, huge hit for the Lawnside students in the present and in the past. And we just automatically figured the adults really want this. We've had people ask for the cards. So we figured this would be a fantastic time for us to use this as a way to celebrate Juneteenth. And so we have a fun fundraiser for you, packed with stuff, especially prizes. And one of them is this fabulous, all the way from Galveston, Texas, t-shirts that you could get. So let's talk about what we're going to do on Juneteenth Eve, celebrating New Jersey. Is this the first year New Jersey is celebrating Juneteenth? This is the first year. So we really want to go all out. So first, we are going to go to the home where the first Juneteenth occurred, Emancipation Day celebration in Galveston, Texas. We're going to visit the mural there. They have a live stream to the mural. And also, we are going to hear a clip from an interview from Mrs. Opal. I don't know if you guys know about Mrs. Opal, but she's a 93-year-old woman who walks 2.5 miles every year to symbolize the 2.5 years it took for slaves in Texas to know that they were free. And her goal is to make this a national holiday. After we leave Galveston, I will share with you how you can figure out who's your Juneteenth family, right? I'm going to share with you how to use family history to find out who in your family was alive on June 19th, 1865. Then the moment everybody is waiting for, we're going to have Mrs. Higgs teach us Lawnside history postcards. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with Snow Hill Games and awards. So when you win, you get to win prizes. So I showed you the one prize, this Juneteenth t-shirt. We have Underground Railroad t-shirts. And actually, these are the last of the Underground Railroad t-shirts, okay? This version. We have a Buffalo Soldier t-shirt, and we also have some DVDs. We have season 1 of Underground. We also have Mrs. Higgs, 2 DVDs, A Haven to Freedom and best kept secret. There we
and
go.
on Mount Peace.
And on Mount Peace.
Yeah, so you can win. You can win these.
You can win these. Yes, yes, yes. There's the Buffalo Soldiers, and they might not be able to see it because I'm not spotlighting you guys.
Okay.
So, okay, show the Buffalo Soldiers. That's the Buffalo Soldiers t-shirt. And then Linda has on the Underground Railroad t-shirt. Okay, now let me get Mrs. Higgs. And then you guys know what DVD boxes look like. So that's okay with right there. So now let's go on to the edutainment part of this program. Let me find Mrs. Higgs and bring you on here. So Mrs. Higgs and our goal tonight is to prepare you to win all the prizes, because there's going to be other people that are going to be there. But because you guys came here tonight, you can have an opportunity to get a head start on the prizes. So I'll let you know the Juneteenth Eve will be June 18th at 7 p.m. When Mrs. Higg teaches, I'm going to put the registration link into the chat. And without further ado, we have Mrs. Higgs. Welcome, Mrs. Higgs.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm excited. So I need to calm down.
Oh, and I didn't tell you guys, it's $5 to play. And I'm going to put the link in there for you to register. And if you also want to get the postcards, the stack of 20, and this is the, limited edition, not a whole bunch left. Those are $20, and then plus the cost to mail them out. And so if you're local, then you won't have that cost. And they all go towards helping the Lawnside Historical Society. All right, up to you. There you go, Mrs. Higgs.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be able to present this program again. I love teaching history. I'm not going to go on because they gave me a set amount of time, so they're probably going to have to shut me up anyway. But I just want to welcome everybody as we take this trip on the Underground Railroad to this little place called Lawnside, New Jersey. Now, what we're giving you here is tidbits of information. Have a whole lot more to give. So hopefully over time, we will be making more cards perhaps, and just sharing more information. Each card that we have is just a little bit of information on it. Okay, so yeah, so let's get started and on this trip down the Underground Railroad. And today I'm going to present to you 6 different cards. And okay, so I'm going to begin with the history of the town names. Everybody see that? Now, Lawnside was established way back in the 1700s. Now, the names have changed over time. It used to be called Snow Hill. It was given that name. They say escaped slaves came from Snow Hill, Maryland, and they settled in Lawnside. They also say that Snow settled on Goodins Hill, which is at Charleston Avenue and Warwick Road in the winter time. So they started to call it Snow Hill. Also, the name Freehaven, Freehaven, and was given also. And that was when the Quakers were here. And we need to talk a little bit about them and Ralph Smith. Then the Atlantic Railroad came through, and they had a station right over there behind ShopRite, kinda. And there was a stop, I think it was called the Lawton stop. And people would say they would get off the train, and it was a lawn there, a beautiful lawn. And then some people would say they got off the train and their feet were all dusty. So just over time, the town name became Lawnside. Just recently, a student of mine challenged me. He said, Ms. Higgs, Jessie Redmond Fawcett says she lived in Fredericksville. And everybody knew she lived in Lawnside. So another name has emerged, and it's called Fredericksville. Real quick, I found a map, and I couldn't, I was just, because I never came across that name before. So, and it might have been a section of Snow Hill, they say down by Gloucester Avenue and that area. So it was called Fredericksville also. I'm just finding that information out. And here's another map that has Fredericksville written on it also. Okay, so that's the names of the town. Now, you should have a paper and pencil out. You know that, taking notes, right? Well, anyway, some of the answers to the questions that I'm giving are going to be on the Kahoot. So it would be a good idea to get your pencil and paper. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next card. This person here, look at him. Jacob C. White, sir. Now, why are we even talking about Jacob C. White? He was a wealthy entrepreneur. He was born in 1806 and he died in 1872 in Philadelphia. But the connection that he had to Lawnside is that he sold land. Now we have a Quaker named Ralph Smith who came here also. Real quick, you got to buy the cards to see this one. So I'm just teasing you with that one. But that's about Quaker involvement. And Ralph Smith and Mr. Jacob C. White sold land. Jacob C. White was a Black man. So that was very significant at that time. He's selling land. He was an entrepreneur. So he sold one particular plat of land, and that plat of land he gifted it. He charged $1 for it. And on this plat of land, I know particularly that they built a school, and it was called the Freehaven School for Colored Children. And I believe it was on Mott Street. I can remember growing up people saying it was a school over there, but they never said exactly where. I just heard it. I remember hearing that. But that school is what Jacob C. White, sir, helped to get established. Now, there was a Quaker from Haddonfield, Mr. Boyer. He gave him the money and he actually built the school, but the land was from him. He was an activist. He worked on the Underground Railroad. He was a barber, and he was a self-claimed dentist. So he had lots of jobs. But this is our Jacob C. White, sir. Okay.
My cousin said he became a dentist because it was the same chair.
The barber chair, huh? Yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay, just a question. Why was Jacob White important to Lawnside? Somebody, real quick. What did I just say? Somebody, why was he so important? Well, the main thing he did.
He sold land.
He sold the land for the school.
Yeah. A round of applause. Yes. And how about, let's go back just this real quick. One of the names, give me one of the names of the town that Lawnside used to be named.
Snow Hill.
Hey, there you go. What's another one? I know you know another one.
Freehaven.
Freehaven. Oh, yay. Okay.
Freehaven.
I'm going to go on.
Fredericksville.
Fredericksville. Thank you. It's on the map. Telling you. Okay. Let me get my breath here. Okay, so now this place right here, look at that. That's an old church with all the members outside. That is Mount Pisgah AME Church. And it's important because it was established way back in 1792, and it was incorporated in 1808 as the first Methodist church in the county. At one time, Blacks and whites went to church together there until they built a Methodist meeting house, and then they moved out. Richard Allen, if you know about Mother Bethel Church in Philadelphia, Richard Allen was a circuit preacher, and he would come to Mount Pisgah sometimes, and he would preach there. And they were the Methodist church. So he had a movement going. His church, Mother Bethel, was African Methodist Episcopal. So Richard Allen had a meeting with the members, and they decided to leave the Methodist congregation or that society and become the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Okay, so they had that movement. And then they had another church. This was on Church Street or Moldy Road. Okay, and in 1910, they built a new church on Warwick Road. So I believe that church that's there right now is the church that was there. Okay. And there's a cemetery adjacent to their church. Something you learned real quick. One thing important. Someone?
The new church was built in 1910.
There you go. The new church was built in 1910. Thank you, Sister Dolores.
You said it was established in 1792.
It was founded in
Incorporated in 1802.
I'm sorry.
and 1808 incorporated.
Right. In 1808 In
Incorporated.
1792, they were organized, and in 1808, they became incorporated. Okay.
And it used to be on Moldy Road. Is that what you said, Miss Manira?
Yes, it used to be on Moldy Road, and it was called Church Street at that time. I have a map here. I can't show you everything, but the map shows it used to be called Church Street. So we believe it was Church Street because it was a church on the street. Yeah. All right, moving right along. I talked about that cemetery right next and behind the church. Well, this lady right here, look at her. She would have been a part of the Black Lives Movement had she been alive right now. This was the first female AME preacher. She had to go back and forth with Richard Allen, who was the bishop or whatever of the congregation. She went back and forth until she finally convinced him that a woman could be a minister or a preacher. So that was a big feat way back in those days.
Can't see her name. Can't see her name.
She was born in 1783 and died in 1864. And like I said, she's buried at Mount Pisgah. She married Reverend Joseph Lee, who was the pastor. Now, she was also the first African-American woman to publish her own autobiography in the United States. She also fought for women's rights. You know, tell me she wouldn't have been in the Black Lives Matter movement or some kind of movement in these days. So, and she also joined the Anti-Slavery Society. What a lady, right?
Indeed.
And she's buried right over there at Mount Pisgah Church.
They said she did.
Okay, why is Jarena Lee important? Real quick.
First female AME
Female
preacher.
First
AME
female,
preacher.
that's right. That's right, very good. Excellent, you guys would be getting an A so far.
1783 to 1864.
Excuse me?
She was born
1783
1783, died 1864.
Here we go.
Thank you, wow. Look
Is
at
married
you
to Pastor
guys.
Lee.
And
Okay.
married to a preacher.
The publisher
Okay.
autobiography.
All righty, all righty.
Y'all gonna win all the prizes.
I know, right? Okay, so the next place, this place is hollow ground to me. Pardon me, I just need to sip a little water. This place is hollow ground. Mount Peace Cemetery. They just had a ceremony there, the NAACP, and I walked down Soldiers Row and it just touched me. And my sister's bones are there somewhere and we can't find her. So it was quite a
Wow.
touching place. You know, I think the brush has grown over it and all. So, you know, that's just my little personal story. I don't know why I went there, but I guess I was supposed to. But did you know that back in the late 19th century, they did not have a place to bury Black people. They wouldn't accept them in the other cemeteries. So Mount Peace Cemetery grew out of this need. It was established by a group of African-American men, and they formed what they called the Mount Peace Cemetery and Funeral Directing Company in 1902. Now here's Black entrepreneurs, they saw a need, so they went ahead and they got together and established Mount Peace Cemetery. And then Mr. Nathaniel Wow, he sold them the land. He was a Quaker from Haddonfield. Buried in this cemetery are Vietnam soldiers, World War I soldiers, Civil War soldiers, Spanish War soldiers. They're from all over. Somebody told me there's somebody from Nigeria buried in there, you know, and this just shows you there was nowhere for other people to go. So you got people from all over in this cemetery. Okay, and they said there are 108 soldiers buried there, soldiers and sailors buried at Mount Peace. And we'll talk about John Lawson at another time. That's another card that you might want to get that I don't have time to go over right now, but that's him. And he's buried there. And in between 1931 and 1959, they buried 3,557 bodies in that graveyard. Now it is taken care of by the Mount Peace Cemetery Association, and they're doing a good job, you know, in trying to keep it up and all. We need volunteers to come out and help with that cemetery, but that's hollow ground right there. Wow, what a place. What's one thing you learned?
It was established in the late 19th century. Because
Oh,
they had
1902.
1902, that's right. There
Right.
you go, that's right.
1902.
That's the 20th century.
Why?
Because there were no other people that they would not bury people of color.
Yeah, so there were people of color, so what?
It was a hallowed ground for them. There was no one else that they would not accept Black people.
Go, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go on now.
Your great grandmother is buried there too.
Our great grandmother,
Bonita.
Mary Alice Whitehead.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wow. No wonder I was feeling all those feelings out
I
there.
didn't know that. I didn't know
This
that.
is just a certificate, a stock certificate that someone bought, Mr. Sadler bought from Mount Peace Cemetery and Funeral Directing Company, just to know it was a legitimate business and people had stocks in the business.
Okay.
Mhm. So, all right. And this is just a small picture of a soldier's row. You got to go there and just feel it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, that's Civil War row.
Yes. Yep.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Wow.
Thank you. All right, we're going right along here. All right. I couldn't talk about Lawnside. I taught my students about Lawnside Park. Lawnside Park. And they were like, "What? Did that really happen here?" And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that back in the 1920s up into the 40s, there was Black people weren't allowed in the parks. We couldn't go to Clementon Park. We couldn't go to Cooper River Park. With whatever parks existed, we were excluded from. But you know what? That didn't bother the people from Lawnside because we had the best park you ever wanted to see. It was the center of entertainment in New Jersey and all around. One of the most visited parks in South Jersey. People came from all over. I remember busloads coming through town. KD Speed, picture this, guys, in your head. All right, let me just, I jumped off the topic here, but just picture this. We're riding down Easham Avenue. Look to your right, you see a big swimming lake. All right, don't open them yet. You see a playground. You see a tea room. You see a baseball field, a Ferris wheel, rowboats for rent, horse and buggy rides, a clubhouse, a pool hall, flying swing, skate. You seeing all this stuff, right? A skating ring, a baseball stadium, and a spectacular merry-go-round. That was Lawnside Park back in the day. If you're looking at this picture, you see these guys, they're kind of sitting on the ledge, and on the card it says something barbecue, corn on the cob. You come down there and eat. I'm telling you, busloads will come down there.
Mhm.
So it looked like that at the, at the beginning of the park, right? But then around, I guess the late 40s, early 50s, the park became more of a place for adults. Clubs started coming up in the area, they had the Dreamland, they had the Cotton Club, they had the Whippoorwill, they had Coochie's, which they called, what was that, Wilcox's also. They had all of these places. So you see how everybody's just sitting on the ledge? It was a fun time to be in Lawnside. Celebrities came there. They said Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and others came to the Lawnside. They all came here to socialize and entertain. Now you can open your eyes for a minute, but then I want you to think about that place where you go into a Walmart and all in there. That's where they had stands with trinkets and souvenirs and games of chance, all up and down, booth after booth after booth. And we go down there and we get corn on the cob, sit in the car with our dad. When I got a little older, I snuck down there and sat on the ledge, Yes, but this was just a fun time. The celebrities came from all over the place.
Munira, wasn't it true that the celebrities came to entertain here because they couldn't go into the other clubs, the white establishments?
You're absolutely right. I'm sure that was a big reason. And yes, Lawnside was open because there were Black-owned clubs down there. Look at the entrepreneurship going on down there also. That's what I talked to my kids about. I didn't mean to go there, but yeah, they couldn't go to many other places. Yep. But yeah, so that was what was going on. But what it was famous for, what was this park famous for?
Barbecue.
It's
Barbecue.
barbecue, girl. We used to love that barbecue down Lawnside Park. You had that, you was in heaven. My
Mhm.
dad would get the bones and bring them up and give them to my dog. I was like, Dad, what you doing? He's like, I got the bones from the park. So
One
yeah.
of my childhood friends, her mother had a stand in Lawnside. And
Who
we,
did?
My dad
one
too.
of, this is Gloria, one of my girlfriends, my childhood,
Oh, okay.
her mother, had Miss Rose, she had a barbecue stand and we would come down on the weekends and help her.
All righty.
Yeah,
So,
good memories.
all right. So is there one thing you learned here?
Lawnside Park was from 1920s to the 1940s initially. And then and then the late 40s, it became the clubs, the nightclubs.
Who's my star student out there? Somebody. Who is that?
Yolanda.
You are listening. You're a very good listener.
This is my indoctrination to Lawnside. I've only been here 21 years.
Oh, well, it's time, sweetie. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, Miss Higgs, before you move on. When Mrs. Higgs did this card in class, she said coochies like 5 times. And the kids could not contain
laughing.
themselves. And the teachers had to keep telling them in the chat, you guys stop. And she did it again. As soon as they calmed the kids down, she said coochies again. And now here we are on the grown edition. She said coochies 1 time. But let me just let you know that the spark that came out of those kids, they just said, we need that park back.
Yeah.
They were so
Right.
excited to hear about it. They didn't believe that it was there, but she sparked something in all of them. So who knows what the future holds? Because they said we need it back.
And I told them that they can be entrepreneurs and they can do this too, just like those
Right.
people own those
That's a good thing to
businesses.
instill in them.
That's right.
Entrepreneurship.
Yes, ma'am. All right, that's a good conversation. We could go on and on. I love this stuff. Okay, so one thing you learned about the park, what did we do? Did I ask you already yesterday?
Yeah.
For the barbecue. That's right. This is our last card for the evening. Oh, yeah. This is a picture of Dreamland. Remember Dreamland? That's Dreamland.
Yep.
And one more thing here, this picture here. I took this picture because these are the last 2 standing buildings in Lawnside Park. Over here is Harris's barbecue stand. They have Mr. Hilly's seafood place. And over here, this is Coochie's. That's Wilcox's Cafe. That's right. So that they're the only 2 buildings still standing. Okay. All right.
Mrs. Hicks,
Yes.
this is Ellen Benson. I just wanted to add in to, especially since you just showed the picture of Dreamland, one of the main reasons that those entertainers were available was that on the weekends in Philadelphia, they were really in the Philadelphia area giving shows all week long. But in Philadelphia, they were closed over the weekend. And so they came out to Lawnside, not just to put on shows, but to relax and have a good time with their friends out here.
That's right. They did. They entertained as well as socialized in the park.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Benson. I love you so much. Okay, we got one more card for the day. And that card, this is interesting thing. Interesting. Look at the picture. You see the ladies. Looks like they're in some kind of, what do you think, a uniform? So it's about the Red Cross, right? The Red Cross chapter that we had here in Lawnside. Now there was at the end of the World War I, there was a gentleman who lived in Lawnside and his name was Dr. Roscoe Moore. Dr. Roscoe Moore, I remember him. He was in Lawnside School when I was there. And so he was the man that organized the Red Cross chapter for Lawnside. Okay, these members are standing on the step of the school right around the time that the school was built. And we're going to talk about education. I got another card on that. And so these are the sisters, the wives, the grandmothers, the daughters of the men that went into the service. And what they did is they had fundraisers, they made bandages, they supported families that needed any kind of support. And okay, so that was some of the things that they did. Also, I want to go back to Dr. Somebody's saying something? Okay, so Dr. Roscoe Moore, he was my doctor in the school. And you know, they had a smallpox pandemic back in 1918. Well, at that time, you had to start getting vaccinated, right? Just like the COVID-19 thing. So Dr. Moore, you couldn't go to kindergarten unless you had your smallpox vaccine. So I know some of y'all got the same mark on your arm, right? Right? Can you see it?
Show y'all scar.
Yeah, show your scar, be proud. But we got through it, right? Look at that. That thing hurt.
The kids were so excited to see her arm. You will not believe they turned on their cameras so they could see her arm.
But yeah, so Dr. Moore, I do
Munera, you didn't get that in 1918 though, right?
No, 1920, hon. No, of course not. So yeah, that is what we had for you this evening. We have 14 more cards, and you know, just support the Lawnside Historical Society. And thank you for allowing me to come before you and give you these lessons. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Everyone
you.
give Miss Hicks
Thank
a
you.
big clap.
Yay. Thank you, teacher.
So interesting.
So also to prepare you to win prizes, where you guys want to practice playing Kahoot with the knowledge that you've just learned. All right, so let me share. I want to teach you guys. Share. Who has played Kahoot before? Oh, looks like we've had some people play before, so that's good. So I just want to share with you a little bit about Kahoot. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. And so this is, hold on. I wanted to show you one thing before we do that. Sorry, because I have it up. I would like for you guys to see the actual deed to the school. I'm going to show it to you because it's really pretty. It looks like it's a real deed, not just a copy. So here we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is the actual deed. Jacob White Sr. and wife Sr. to a group of trustees for the Free Haven School for Colored Children. And here is the actual deed. And it shows you at the top, him and his wife, Elizabeth, Jacob White from Philadelphia. It shows the trustees, okay? Arthur Boyer, Samuel Sharp, James Emery, Daniel Williams, Peter Jackson, William Gross, Charles Jackson, and they are trustees for the school. And here it's showing you that it is indeed on Mott Street. If you can see that right here. I know my thing might not be so great to see. Hold on. Mott Street. And then just show you at the bottom the signatures of Jacob and his wife Elizabeth. The coolest thing about this deed is what you cannot see right now. The coolest thing about this deed is what's on the side. You guys see that written on the side there?
Yeah.
And basically what he's saying is that the children are to be schooled, it's without reference made on religion, according to their parents, to the religion of their parents. So this was 1844, and you could tell they're obviously, and I looked up those guys, some of them went to each church, some went to Mount Pisgah, and some went to Mount Zion. And so he was saying, hey, we don't need that shenanigans here. So that's Jacob White. So let me tell you guys about Kahoot. For those of you who have not played, can you see Kahoot now on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is just a PowerPoint just to show you. So we're gonna play. And basically, I'm gonna start the game, and to play, you're just gonna use your phone or a tablet, whatever. You can use your desktop. And you're gonna go to kahoot.it, just like you're going to a website, kahoot.it. And I'm gonna give you the number. This is not the number, but I'm gonna give you a PIN number. And you're gonna, on your phone, after you go to kahoot.it, it's gonna ask you to put in a number. You're gonna put in that number. It's gonna ask you to give yourself a name. You guys can put some cool, funky names in there. You don't have to put your real name. And then we start to play the game. Once everybody puts their names in, there'll be a question. This is what the screen will look like. And you may not be able to see it if you're viewing this from your phone. What you'll see from your phone are blocks with colors. And so I'm going to read the question. I'm going to tell you the answers with the color. So I'll say red, always waiting for others. Red, does not like to wait. Blue. And so that way you'll know you want to press it as quickly as possible. And then it will, let's see, did I have another screen? Yeah, no other screen. But then what's going to happen is you'll see who answered the question and who's on top. And at the end, there'll be a winner. So you guys ready to play? Let's play Kahoot. I'm going to share the game with you guys. And you are practicing to win the prizes. So let's see. I want this.
How can I play if I'm on my iPhone getting the Zoom?
That's fine. If you're on your phone, all you're gonna do is just use your phone. You won't be able to see us or see the questions, but you'll be able to play. And at the end, you'll be able to see.
I know before I could use my iPad, but it's too late now.
Well, that's why I'm letting you know now. So when the real game come, you have your iPad ready.
Right.
Ooh,
What's
you
the
guys
PIN
can
number
see all
again?
the games. I didn't tell you guys yet. Hold on. Let's play. I
Wait,
hope I started the right game. Give me a second to get the PIN number for you. All right. Classic. All right. It's loading the PIN, and I will tell you the PIN in a second. So the PIN number, first you want to go to kahoot.it. And you want to put in the PIN number 705.
How do we get there?
wait a minute.
So you want to act like you're going to a web page like Google. And you want to type in K-A-H. You see it on the screen? Oh, you might not. K-A-H.
Okay, got it.
Oh, you got it. And then the number is 705 1301. 705 1301. You guys are doing great. You coming in. Tell me if there's anybody who needs more time. And the music.
1 second.
Why isn't the music playing? Oh, there it is. It's low. There we go.
I don't know how to do this.
Okay,
I
I
had
got
to
it.
load it on my phone. Give me a second.
All right, we got salad here. We got
That's me.
Bebe. We got Kit Kat with a 2 T's at the end. Dr. G's in the house. We got Shock Me, Sakina. Sakina, you could have came up with a name better than that, girl. I know you. Yoga Kina, Oma Kina, Jack D is here. Caroline, Melanie, T Lions, and Mikey's here. Anybody else? Am I waiting for anyone else?
Yeah, I had to download it onto my phone. I couldn't get it on the thing I was working on.
Oh, I got this thing. I'm talking about your date of birth and all that stuff. What the heck is going on?
All right, am I waiting for anybody?
No, because I'm not
Go
gonna play.
ahead, because I can't get this to go just yet.
I can't get it.
All right, let's play. Let's play.
Go ahead and play.
All right.
Next time I'll use my iPad and iPhone.
All right. So let's get ready. You're gonna have 10 seconds or less to answer the question. So
what did you say the colors were again?
I'm gonna tell you. What are some of the names given to Lawnside throughout history? Gooden Hill is red. Farmer's Field is blue, Snow Hill is yellow, or Freehaven is green? The answer
Oh,
is
you gotta-
Freehaven or Snow Hill.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who got it. Top is Caroline is top. Dr. G is right
Caroline,
behind.
yeah.
Sakina and Mikey and Dr. Lines. How do they put you on the board with zeros? Maybe, I don't know what's happening there. All right, next question.
Can I answer?
Name one reason why Jacob C. White Sr. is important to the history of Lawnside. He was a farmer for red. He knows how to rhyme for blue. He's a Quaker for yellow, or green. He gave the first land to build.
Oh, you don't get much time.
I don't. I have to put them up, put it longer. So all of you got it who could see. He gave the land to build the
Yay.
first school. So let's see what the board looks like. Caroline still on top, Dr. G, followed by
Come on.
Sakina, Mikey, and Yoli. All right, I'm gonna read faster. You guys ready?
Mhm.
Next question. What is the name of the first historic church in Lawnside? Grace Temple for red, Chapel Annunciation blue, Mount Pisgah, AME for yellow, Mount Zion for green. And everyone almost got that Mount Pisgah.
Yes. I'm so proud.
And Dr. G took first place, but Caroline's still on the streak. Sakina's still hanging on the third. Yoli's moving up, and so is Jack. All right, next question. Why was Mount Peace formed? Blacks were not allowed in secular cemeteries, red, no space to be buried, blue, or place to buy Dunkin' Donuts for yellow.
Yay.
Red, blacks were not allowed in secular cemeteries. All right, Dr. G held on. Caroline's next. Sakina's still in third. Yoli and Jack. And it looks like 3 players are on a streak. 3 questions in a row. Next question. Who formed the American Red Cross chapter in Lawnside? Was it red, Clarence Still, blue, Richard Wise, yellow, Roscoe Moore, green, Rutledge Bryant? The answer, Roscoe Moore.
Yay. Roscoe.
Let's see. Oh, Caroline is taking the top. Dr. G is next, followed by Sakina, Yoli, and Jack. Next question. What was Lawnside Park most famous for? Was it red entertainment, blue barbecue, yellow churches, or green shopping?
Y'all better get this right.
Barbecue.
Oh.
Let's see the podium. Let's see who the winners are for our practice game. What? Sakina's number
Number
3. She held on to number 3. Dr. G, number 2, and number 1. We know who that is.
Number 1.
Caroline.
Yay,
Caroline.
Woohoo.
The runners up were Yoli and Jack. Great job, guys. Great job.
That was fun.
I knew all of the questions, but I didn't know how to play with the thing.
Yeah, I missed the first one because I wasn't in on the time.
So let me ask you this: when you read the question, do you have to wait until the end of the question, or as soon as you hear the answer, you hit the
As
button?
soon as you hear the answer, the quicker you respond, the better.
Okay.
And if you could see the answers as opposed to waiting for me to say the colors or read them out, then you can be quicker, and that'll put you higher up on the board.
So do we have our iPad to see the answers, or
I would do that.
Okay.
So did you guys like it?
That's fun.
You guys did so good. You're going to do well on the test. You were listening. Good listeners. Give them a round of applause. Yeah.
So we have done what we could to set you guys up for success for Snow Hill Games on Juneteenth Eve. And so we hope that you guys will join us. And Linda, did you have anything else?
Okay.
Yes, well, I wanted to thank you all because this was great and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'd like to encourage everybody to spread the word and encourage other folks to come and join next week. Now, next week, you'll be able to play the game, You'll also be able to buy cards, and we still have lots of cards. Well, we don't have a lot. We have less than 15 card sets left for sale, but we'd love for you to get some. And we'll be glad to have you join in playing the game. And also, some of you may think that you don't need the cards in order to play the game because you have it like that. But we'd also love for you to come along and encourage other people to watch it. We're gonna broadcast this on YouTube and on Facebook. But sign up. Just go to tinyurl.com/Snow Hill Games Juneteenth. Snow Hill
Put the
Games.
link in the
Juneteenth.
chat for you too.
Mel just put the link in the chat. I appreciate that to remind me. And go online and sign up. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to lift our spirits. Everything is going to be going on about Juneteenth, and more as we go forward. People are looking at our history and actually telling a more complete story about this country, and that includes us. And we've got to make it available to the next generation. I really applaud Ms. Ziggs and Shamel, because I heard, again, one of the things that Shamel said a long time ago is that we have a problem in that we don't know enough about our history.
That's true.
Right.
We need another generation of scholars to come along and commit to doing the research to find out the things that we do not know. And so these women are trying to train that next generation of scholars, and they've gotten some folks really excited. The children in the community were just fired up about the town. One little boy said to Peter, "My house is right in my backyard. Have you ever seen it?" It was just cute that he was thinking that, yeah, they're teaching it, but they don't know it. And it was just great to see how the children just embrace this, and to think when they get into high school that they're going to do this kind of research. We've been fortunate to have Reverend James Benson, Ellen Benson, Clarence Still to continue these stories, and Lenice Marvin. I mean, Mrs. Marvin can tell you how Marcus Garvey came to the back door of Miller Funeral Home on Warwick Road asking for money.
Are you kidding me?
We got to tell these stories.
Oh, yeah.
We have these stories to tell. I just went to the New Jersey Historic Trust conference online, and today's sessions were all about underrepresented communities. And one of the things that the presenter said, if you want to learn about Rosa Parks, you go to the African American Museum on the Mall in Washington, D.C. But if you want to know about those people who were on the street and in the town and in the city of Anacostia, who were doing the local community organizing and resisting segregation and discrimination, then you go to the Anacostia Museum and get that local history. And so that's what we have here. We have local history, and we need to embrace it and continue to study it, because there are things we still don't know.
That's right.
Thank you. This is where the rubber meets the road. You know, we could do the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, do all of that. But this is where the rubber meets the road. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
And look for the recordings to be posted
Annie.
on YouTube.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Cousin Benita.
Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.